Colt, a seasoned stuntman, has always been in love with Jody, the talented camerawoman. But after a rough day on set, director Ryder criticizes Colt's performance, making an offhand comment that Colt's face looks like a potato. That moment marked the beginning of Colt's downfall. 18 months later, everything had changed for Colt. Jody, who had always supported him, found herself unable to help anymore. Colt, feeling defeated, distanced himself from her. He thought he was done for, but late one night, a call from producer Gail offered him a chance to return to the set. He initially rejected the offer, preferring his quieter life working at a cafe. But when a customer recognized him and called him the worst failure in the world, it broke him. This comment led Colt to reconsider Gail's offer, especially since he learned that Jody would be the new director. Around town, commercials featuring Tom Ryder flooded the streets, with Ryder claiming to do all his stunts personally. The contrast with Colt's current life was jarring. Eventually, Colt decided to return to the film set. Upon arrival, the team scanned his face, intending to use it for scenes where Ryder's face would be digitally overlaid. Colt couldn't help but wonder why Jody, now the director, hadn't greeted him yet. But before he could dwell on it, the head stunt director, an old friend, reassured him, explaining that Colt would be performing a car flip. Colt's nerves spiked as he feared more embarrassment, especially in front of Jody. The team traveled to the beach for the stunt. Colt, feeling uneasy, touched the sand and immediately disliked its texture. He suggested postponing the stunt until after sunset. The stunt director, confident in Colt's abilities, urged him to go ahead, but Colt, haunted by his past failures, was reluctant. The fear of failure in front of Jody was the one thing that terrified him more than anything. During the recording, his theory was confirmed. The car kept bouncing because of the loose sand. He was ordered to drive as close to the camera as possible, but the braking distance was much longer than standard, and he broke the camera, then flipped over. Jody approached the new driver to introduce herself, not even realizing it was Colt. It turned out that she hadn't invited him to the shoot. An awkward conversation ensued, after which Jody asked to bring a new stuntman, but no one else was there except Colt. They had to work together. Colt found out that the plot of the movie was incredibly similar to their relationship, which made him feel sick. Jody was setting him on fire take after take, and he realized that she was taking revenge, but he had to do his job. Late in the evening, he met Gail, who admitted that she had lied about Jody inviting him over. In fact, Jody was happy to see him, she just didn't show it. The reason for her invitation was that Ryder had disappeared, tangled up with some very suspicious people. Colt offered to go to the police, but Gail couldn't do that because the studio would find out that she was way over budget and shut down the production. Only Colt could find Ryder. Gail gave the key to Ryder's house to Jody to save the movie. In the parking lot, Colt saw Jody, and the days they had been together flew before his eyes. In the midst of his memories, Jody approached him. She saw that he had recently cried and apologized for setting him on fire. She even asked permission to sit in the front seat. Colt said he was sorry for disappearing for a year and a half. He just couldn't find the right words to talk. He vowed to help make the movie. A little later, Colt arrived at Ryder's house. The house was full of props from previous movies. Suddenly, he was attacked by a girl with a katana, and he was sure he had seen her before. The girl said that she played the main role in the movie and was Ryder's girlfriend. Colt tried to explain that he was not Ryder, but a stuntman, but the girl still tried to kill him with a prop sword. She said that lately Ryder had been paranoid that someone was trying to kill him. While Colt was trying to remove the shards of glass, he asked where he could find Ryder. The girl mentioned that it was neon night at the club, and Ryder always hangs out with a guy named Dune. Colt skillfully played the role of Ryder, and no one noticed the switch. Dune turned out to be a dealer. Colt immediately said that he was a stuntman, and Dune offered him a drink. After one sip, Colt's eyes began to darken, and he realized that he had been poisoned. He rushed to attack, knocking out all the bandits. Colt ran after Dune, who was trying to escape in a car. Colt jumped over the fence and stood on the roadway. Frightened, Dune said that he was hired by Ryder's security to drug him. Ryder is now in a hotel, but the rooms are always different. The only problem is that the effect of the substance in Colt's blood will not disappear soon, and he and the unicorn went looking for Kevin. Luckily, Jody was also staying at the hotel and noticed Colt's strange behavior, but their conversation was interrupted by Gail and taken away by Jody. Colt immediately went in search of Kevin, but the key card didn't work. He had to go back to the reception and get a new card. However, it didn't work either, and he used the steel lever to open the door under the unicorn's watchful eye. Colt looked around the room and saw that it was too late. The man was already dying in the bathroom. He told Gail and was about to call the police, but Gail told him not to. Fortunately, the police were already there, but when they entered the room, the body was gone. The next day, another shoot began. Colt wanted to talk about everything, but seeing Jody excitedly talking about her movie made him keep quiet and do what he does best, act in the movie. His relationship with Jody clearly improved, and the filming day ended successfully. The whole group decided to go to karaoke, and Colt was invited too. During the break, Gail approaches him. She wants him to leave before the situation escalates. Colt can't leave because he promised to come to the karaoke. He doesn't want Jody's dream to be ruined, so he decides to find Alma. Alma tells him about the day Ryder disappeared and even found his phone, which probably contains the real information. She is ready to give the phone in exchange for the producer's position, but they are stunned, and Alma is kidnapped by the garbage men. Colt, catching his breath, gives chase with his trained dog. The dog is critically injured, and Colt jumps into a car. He tries to interrogate the man, but he says nothing. The bandit wants the video, but the dog comes to the rescue again. Meanwhile, Gail tells Jody that she gave the tickets to Colt and he is on his way home. Although in reality, he just changed into the Silver Surfer and struggled to get into the tank. Alma tries to help him, but the tank flips over and they are almost flattened. Perhaps Colt has a superpower in the form of luck, because not only is he not hurt, but his phone is still intact. He runs frantically to the karaoke, but Jody has already left. He asks Dan to hack into Ryder's phone. He replies that Venti can do it. However, she calls it a safe, and it will take about 3 days to break in, or you need to enter a password. Colt assumes that the password is on one of the sticky notes in Ryder's house. There are so many post-its that Dan's help is needed. A little later, Dan finds the password. One of the videos showed Ryder's new stand-in, who was lying in the bathroom. During the party, Ryder accidentally kills him, and the video cuts off. Meanwhile, armed men are parking on the street. The news reports that a body has been found, and the main suspect is Colt, who was seen leaving the room. Colt tries to call Jody, but she doesn't notice the messages. The duo hears a strange sound, and they arm themselves and prepare for defense. One of the bandits hits the phone directly. They knock out all the bandits, and when the last one has used up all his bullets, Colt orders them to put down their weapons. Dune runs to catch the dog while the bandit pulls out his gun and fires 3 shots, not realizing that there are no bullets inside. Colt tries to hide on a neighboring yacht where Ryder was vacationing. It turns out that he hired these people to get his phone back. Colt does not answer, otherwise they will kill him. Then Ryder says that he never liked it when Colt tried to outshine him. He was the one who set up the tragedy that broke Colt's back. Henry was the same way. Gail found out about it and came up with a plan to save his reputation. Colt was scanned to prepare a future murder dipstick, but the whole plan went awry when it turned out that the phone had been destroyed. They begin to pour gasoline on Colt, even give him a little to drink, which was a big mistake. Colt breaks free and steals the boat. Driving the boat backwards, he hides in the port and calls Jody. He tells her that he used to think he was a real star who did everything the director wanted, but he realized that he was not immortal. He left Jody's life because he was sure that she had fallen in love with another version of Colt, but he still loves her and hopes that she will have a happy ending. The bandits hit the boat, creating a big explosion. Gail is told that the mission is over, but Colt manages to escape at the last moment. The altered video begins to be shown on television, clearing Ryder's reputation. The next day, mercenaries arrive at the set to find Dan. The alien sneaks into Jody's trailer, and she starts to beat him, but the alien shows a sign that only she knows, because he was wearing a Colt under his mask. He tells her that Ryder killed the stunt double. No one but her knows that he survived, and he suggests that Jody finish the movie with Ryder because her work needs to be done. Maybe it will inspire other people, and they will become directors too. Jody kisses him, but they are interrupted by Gail. Colt puts on his ET costume and hides around the corner. When Gail leaves, Jody explains how the shooting will go and mentions that Ryder always forgets to wear a microphone. This is how they can get a confession to the murder. During the filming, Colt gets into the car to complete the final stunt. Dan has set up smoke bombs in advance, preventing the mercenaries from catching up with Colt. Ryder is not very smart and almost immediately confesses to the murder, ending the sentence with his name. After that, Colt successfully completes the crazy stunt. Gail, threatening him with a gun, takes the tape, but all the other stuntmen attack the mercenaries. At this point, Ryder gets into the helicopter and takes off. Colt is ready to take a chance and jumps on the helicopter, which causes the helicopter to spin. Now, Colt steals the recording and jumps on a pre-prepared cushion. The movie ends with a scene where Aquaman replaces Ryder in the movie, and Colt and Jody start a life together. Imagine if the movie would have ended at the moment when the guy fell off the rope and fell.